I'm just going to take you through the process of using this online picture editing tool. Some of the lessons that staff are posting, they're going to ask you to create a poster or maybe a leaflet. I know Health and Fitness are asking you for a poster, and the childcare qualification will be asking you to create leaflets. So you can do that using pen and paper, take a photograph of it and upload it, or you can do it using this online kind of Photoshop tool. So I'm just going to take you through the basics of using this tool. Here I am on this health and fitness lesson, one of Nick's lessons. So this is health and fitness, key stage 3, key stage 4, and the related components of fitness. I'm just going to scroll down, and Nick has instructed you to create a poster on the skill related component of fitness and add the same things that you added in part 1. So that's what this part 2 says. So here where it says you can use this online tool to create your poster, I'm just going to click on that, and that will open up, and you can see it says this online picture editor. So I'm just going to click that, and it will open up my online picture in a new tab. Now in here, if you've used this before, you'll see over here some of your previous pictures. I'm just going to get rid of that because I don't want to save that anymore. And a few different things that you can do. You can use templates, or you can create something new. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on create new. And it gives me some options. I can give it a name. I don't need to give it a name right now. You can choose a background color. You can choose the width and the height. I'll just kind of keep these as they are. So that's like a 1080p HD image that you're going to create. But the background, I am actually going to choose a color. So I'm going to choose white as the background color, which is always a good starting point when creating a poster or creating a leaflet. So I'm just going to click create, and you can see here is my canvas. You can see it looks roughly like a TV screen shape, so a landscape TV screen shape. So here I've got my blank canvas. It's white, nothing added to it. I'm just going to give it a little bit of texture. So I'm just going to look here. I've got my toolbars down here on the left, the different tools I can use to create images. And on the right, I've got my layers. And that's also related to this at the bottom. And then I've got my save, my close, and undo options down here also. So like I say, I'm just going to add a little bit of texture. So I'm going over here and I'm going to click on add element. And we've got various choices. I'm going to choose a border to begin with. I'm going to go with this brushed border. See this little symbol here? This means you can only get these if you've got the premium package. So you will have, if you've paid to use this, then you've got these extra options. But you can still do a hell of a lot without those. So I'm just going to click on this brushed. You can see I've got quite a few options. I'm just demonstrating, so I could choose anything really. I'm going to go with this here, so you can see how that looks. I can change the transparency to make it more see-through if I want. I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to go with it full. So that's added, and I'm just going to close that there. So here's my border, and you can see there's a layer with my border on the right hand side. I'm going to add another element just to again give it a little bit of flavor. This time I'm going to go with an overlay, and again there's some premium overlays, but there's just some standard overlays which are quite nice. I'm going to try this abstract lights. Let's see what we've got here. So we've got different abstract lights. Do I like any of these? Do you know, I'm not sure actually. I'll go with this one, see what that looks like. So on the right hand side you can see these different layers. I can adjust my layers so that my new texture is there as the foreground. I'm gonna add another element. I'm gonna add another one of these overlays. I'm just sort of layering it up and creating various different textures just to see what that will look like. Let's make that a little bit more transparent. You can see what that's as if it wasn't there, and if I turn that up, you can see the different things that it's doing there, which is quite nice. So there we have that. We've got our different elements there, and then I can start to add some text. I've got a couple choices when it comes to text, so I can just click on this add text button, or I can click down here on the right hand side and add a new layer. When I press add the plus button, it gives me an option of different types of layers. I'm going to choose the text layer. So you can see it's already put some Latin in there. I don't want Latin, it's in a white colour. I'm just going to change the colour to this purple, and then I'm going to double click here and put something else. So my fitness poster or something like that, whatever it is, usually the title of your work. So there we got that, and then I'm going to come back here to the left and I'm going to change the font, and we can see when I press in the font box, you can see the different fonts. It's already changed it to the one that I'm hovering over, and if I hover over, you'll see it'll change these fonts. Again, where you've got this little yellow symbol, that's a premium font, so you won't be able to access that unless you pay for the service. I'm going to scroll down and have a look at the different font options. And really, when it comes to doing something like this, you're just going with something that you like, something that you look at and go, yeah, I think that looks nice. There are different ways of designing stuff like this. When you see lots of fonts that you like, the temptation is to use lots of different fonts, but when it comes to design, the fewer fonts you use, the better your design. So you should be looking to use no more than 3 fonts, ideally 1 font. Let me just go with something. Nothing's jumping out of me at the minute, but do I like the look of this one? Nope, it doesn't stand out too good. The text is a little bit hard to read. That, I think, does speak a little bit more fitness to me, so I'm going to select that, but of course that text is quite small, so I'm going to scroll down and have a look at the different options I have. So here's my size option. I'm going to increase that slowly, let go of it and let it see what it looks like. Keep going. Now I don't want it to be across 2 lines, I want it to be on one, so I'm going to decrease the size until it's just on one line there. I've just bring my mouse over to the middle, and you can see I've got this sort of cross, and that means I can move my text. I'm going to move it up to the top, and as you can see, by moving it to the top, it's become a little bit less readable because it's sort of camouflaged by the background a little. So I'm going to use some of these other effects to make my text stand out. So first I'm going to just press this curve button, look at my curve options. So I've got an arc, I've got a circle's quite nice, and I've got a half. I'm going to click on the circle one. Quite like that just as it is, really. I'm not going to do anything else with that. I'm going to click on the outline. So the outline, you can see already has put a dark outline around it. Now if I change this to maybe a yellow light colour, you can see now the text is standing out a little bit more from what's going on in the background. Let me try white and maybe increase the size of that outline. So you can see that's helping my text stand out from the background. And then we've also got this shadow. I think a shadow is going to look really nice. You can see as soon as I tick that, the shadow appeared. I'm going to make the shadow a little bit more opaque, so it's more noticeable. See that? I can also increase the distance from the text, so it looks like the text is standing off the page a little bit more. That looks quite nice. So I'm just going to move that a little bit higher up, especially now as it's got those elements to make it stand out away from the background. So there we've got that, and I'm just going to click on, I'm just going to use another tool, so I'm going to add an image. So I've just clicked on the image button. This has popped up down here, so this skip ads and test premium free today. I don't want that. I'm just going to close that and carry on working. So I'm going to find an image. I'm just going to browse for an image from my computer. So this is this Battle Ropes image that Nick has used somewhere else. I'm just going to open that up. It gives me the option to create a whole new image from this, or to add it to the thing I'm currently working on, and I want to add it to the thing I'm currently working on. So I'm just going to press add current, and it's added that in as another layer, and I can increase the size of it. I can grab these handles here and just increase the size of this image, and right now it's blurring out, it's blocking out everything else, and we don't want that. But for now I'm just going to get it to the sort of position where I want it to be, so where it's taking up, where it's going right to the edge. And then I'm going to adjust it. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. There we go. So I'm going to rearrange my layers. So first thing, I'm going to bring it behind my text. So my text is now going to jump up in front of it. I'm going to bring it now behind my texture. So my texture is now on top. I'm going to bring it down so that it's got the frame on top of it. So here we've got the basis of the beginning of a poster. So you can see on that image, I've just clicked the three dots here, which has given me various other options. One of these options is the transparency, so I can actually make it more see-through, which is a really good effect for having an image which is subtle in the background, and I think that works really well to create something like this. So then you can add down here, you can add more text layers. So I'm just going to click on the top one because I want my text layer to appear at the top. New text layer. Just double click on there to put in principles of fitness are. And then I'm going to keep it as this font because it's a nice simple font. Get rid of this again. But I do need to change the color of that. So let me go up here, change it to that same sort of purple. See this little tool here, this little drop tool? I'm going to click on that because I'm going to choose this exact color there. So you can see in the little circle, it's giving you the options of what color is underneath my cross. And I want it to be the same color as this text, so I'm just going to click that, and it's changed it to the exact same color. And I'm going to make it bold as well, I think. Bold. There we go. I think that looks quite nice. Maybe a black outline. There we go. And then I can just move that to wherever I want it. I'm just going to create another layer just to show you a couple of other items. This is just going to be an empty layer here, and down at the bottom you can see there's these draw options, so I'm just going to click on that, and up at the top we've got a brush, so I'm going to select a blue. In fact, yeah, I'll select the blue. No, I'm going to choose the same color as my text. So I've got my brush, and you can see I can now spray on this layer. So if I wanted to draw something, I could draw something there. I could increase the size of my brush. I can increase the softness. See what that does? That just makes the edge softer. I can decrease this transparency, so that makes it actually more transparent. So when I press it, it doesn't really. It's as if the ink isn't flowing so quickly to begin with, and I have to press it a few times. If I press it a few times, then I'll get a nice colour. I can use the eraser, and again I can adjust the size of the eraser to get rid of something that I've done there. I can use a pen, which will give me a much finer point. I'm just going to increase the size, make sure that that's a colour I can see. And you can see there it's given me a nice fine line. Let me increase that a lot. You can see it doesn't have the blurred edges that the brush has got. It's got a very defined sort of edge. Then I can also use this shape tool. So if I click on this, it gives me the option of some predefined shapes. Now I can't do anything with that because I haven't actually selected a fill or an outline. So the fill is the colour that's going to be inside. So I've got to select something like that. I'm going to choose a red, the traditional colour of a heart, because I'm going to use this heart shape. So that will fill it in with a red. Now it's put it on the same layer as my drawing underneath here. So let me just click undo and get rid of that. I can press undo again, it'll get rid of some of the other drawing that I did on that layer if I want to, or I could just get rid of that layer. I could untick it so that layer disappears, or there'll be a way for me to delete it. So this trash can button here, I can get rid of that layer completely. I'm going to click here, add a new layer, and again I'm back on my shape. So I'm going to add my heart. It's not in the place where I want it to be. That's perfectly fine because I can move it in a minute. But I'm going to undo that because I'm going to look at the outline as well. So if I click on the outline, and I'll make the outline black. and you can see what that looks like. So you can see we've got a heart with a black outline. And you can, same thing with the shape, the squares, the circles, triangles, and lines, and so on. I'm just going to press this arrange and style, and now I can move that heart around. I'm going to put the heart over here, get rid of this stupidness there, put the heart down here, and I'm going to adjust the opacity of that. So press these 3 buttons. I'm just going to make it more transparent because I don't really want it to stand out or anything. And then there's some other tools that I can use. I've got these different effects that I can use. So there's bits and pieces that you can do to that to just make it sort of blend in a little bit somewhat. So play around with these tools, see what different things they do, how it affects your image. Mess around with it, create different things. Sometimes things will work really well, sometimes they won't work well. It's experimentation. That's how you come up with really good ideas. But when you finish the poster and you're happy with the poster, you're going to click on save here at the bottom, and it will bring up this box where you can put in a title. So I'm just going to call it, put your name in there, so Philip Charles, and I'm going to call it my fitness poster. I want it to be a JPG. That should be already set. I want the quality to be the highest it can be. It should already be set to high. This was already set at the beginning. I don't need to change this. I'm just going to click on download, and it will now download onto my computer. So that's downloaded, and I can go back to my health and fitness page, and underneath the picture editor is this upload your work here. So I'm just going to click on that. My name's already typed in there. I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to go to my downloads where that has just downloaded, and you can see the image is there. That's the image here. I'm just going to press open, and that's going to be added, ready to be sent to Nick. So I'll just press submit, and now my work with my name and my newly made picture is now going to be sent on its way to Nick for him to have a look at and be really proud of the work that you've done.